So now we're going to have a look at get statuses method inside of the order class. So if we open our browser and open our classes folder, inside of the classes, let's identify order.php file. We can close the browser. Let's scroll right to the bottom, and we're going to create the new method called public function get statuses. We don't pass any parameters here. We start with a SQL statement, which goes like this: select all from this underscore table 3, and then we go for order by ID ASC, basically in the ascending order. Okay, then we can return this db fetch all and SQL as parameter. Okay, so this is our statuses method. Now if we go back to our edit file, we have another one which is called update order. So if we copy the name, go back to our editor, right after our get statuses method, create a few new lines obviously, and we start with public function update order, and we get taking two parameters. First one is ID of the order, by default null, and array, by default null as well. Okay, first we check if is an empty ID and is an empty array. Then what we do, we create SQL statement, update this underscore table, set, it's going to be status equals this db escape, and we have array status, then concatenate this single quote. Sorry, there should be comma after this first one because we also updating nodes. Set nodes as equal, again single quote, concatenate this db escape array nodes, and then concatenating again with a single quote, and now where id equals single quote, concatenating this db escape id, then concatenate with a single quote, semicolon right at the end, and return this db query SQL. Okay, that should all work fine. Let's just quickly check if we didn't miss anything. I mean, good thing also would be check obviously if these indexes exist inside of this array. So perhaps we should do this as well. So after we have is an empty ID, is an empty array, and perhaps let's check if it is array basically rather than just the variable is array, and then another one if array key exists, and we're checking for status in array, and obviously and array key exists, and this time we look for nodes inside of array. Okay, so this method is now done. If we go back to our edit file, I don't think we have anything else that we didn't create previously, so I'm hoping that's gonna work, but you know me, I'm making quite a few mistakes while I'm typing. So if we go back to our page, we are on the edit page, so it should work when I hit refresh, and well, it seemed to be working actually. What a surprise. Okay, so we've got a date, which is formatted this way. We can obviously format it differently if you want to. Just simply go to helper class and amend set date or create a new case. Then we have order number, we have items, ID, item, quantity, amount. And these are basically the items which have been purchased. We have subtotal, we have VAT, and then total. We have client address together with the email. As a link, we have PayPal status completed. We can update the order now from pending to, let's say, processing. And if we hit update button, it obviously redirects us to the right page. The only thing is obviously that we still haven't amended these pages. So go back to the list. You can see status has now updated on the list as well to processing. If we go to view again, if I change it back to pending and update and go back to the list, it's still pending. I don't know if you realize when it's pending, the remove link is still here. If I change it to, let's say, processing update and go back to the list, the remove is grayed out. That was the case we wanted to do. Basically, if it's still pending, it might be there was some, some payment which was missing, even though PayPal sent the completed IPN basically and so on. There might be that they've reversed the payment for any reason. So obviously, as long as we have it as a pending order, you can remove it. Otherwise, you won't be able to remove this order. Now we can put some notes for our own use. Let's say this client has asked to send items separately, for instance. And if we update this now, go back to the list, then go back to the view again, you can see this message stays in the field. So it's been updated as well successfully. So our updating is fine. Going back, if we click on go back, it goes back to the list. So it's cool as well. Now we obviously need to work with our invoice. So if we click on invoice, at the moment it's just a blank page. So let's go back to our editor, and next video let's have a look at our invoice page.